Hello everyone and welcome to Railroader. Yep, this is that new game that everyone is talking about, and normally I do a first look at games, you come in with me, you see everything as I would see it for the first time. However, that's not happened with this. First of all, because I've watched a whole bunch of Kerbo's videos pre-release, so I kind of knew what to expect, and I'll leave a link at the end of this video to Kerbo's tutorials because A, they're very good, very informative, show you what all the tutorials about, and B, we are actually on day 3 of the game. So day 1 and 2 is pretty much running through the tutorial and setting things up, getting a feel for it. So I wanted to skip ahead of that and get into the real meat and potatoes of the game, what we can do, and so on and so forth. So let's have a look, shall we? So you've got two views. You've got third person, which is what we're in now. That's why you can see my character stood down there. Or we've got a first person. So we can walk around like this. And honestly, you could play the entire game in third person. You don't have to be in first person at all. But it's entirely up to you. First person lets you get right down in the weeds and you can control the angle, carts, couplers, everything. You can jump on board the locos. If I actually get through the door, bit of a tight squeeze. We can come on board. We can operate all the controls. Now, they're not full simulator realism. They are a bit simplistic, but they do things. Apart from the cylinder cock control, which is down there. That doesn't actually do anything. Visually it does, but it doesn't change any of the operation of the loco. So, Heiss actually covered it in his review video. So if you want to learn more about how the controls differ from real life, go watch his video because I know next to nothing about Steam. So he can explain it way better than I can. Having said that, it's pretty good. You've got good control. You've got a train brake here. You've got an independent brake. And as I say, you can use the controls on board the loco. If you click, so control, left click on a locomotive, you'll get this display panel in the bottom right hand corner. That tells you all about what you're running. You can apply the handbrake or release it there. Now, on the actual loco, that is the only way of doing the handbrake. The handbrake you can see on there is for the tender. So if you're not going to be using UI, the tender handbrake is good enough, but the game sees it as a separate vehicle. So as you can see, if I look down here, you can see two red blobs. That is my loco and tender. So it's showing currently the brakes are fully on. So if I release the independent, see the colour changing. And white means it's good to go, no brakes applied whatsoever. And then train brake, I'll release that. Apply the train brake, again you can see the colour going up. So there is air that goes through the hoses. Again, it is not modelled accurately how the air works. Again, refer to Heiss, he knows more than I do. But it works well enough for the game. And as the devs will tell you, this isn't a hyper-realistic locomotive simulator. It's a train game. And it's about the immersion an environment of running the railroad. And to that end, I'm going to come over here, because this is our interface yard, which is where traffic from the rest of the world comes onto our railroad. And as you can see, if I hover over, you can see they've got various destinations listed on the cars. And if I go down, you see Bridge. So if I click tab, you can actually get these pop-out windows that appear above. And then if I hover over it, you see, let's turn the camera a bit more. Turn the camera even more. There you go. So top center is saying in that direction, 0.2 miles is where this car needs to go. And Bridge site is 3 miles away. And Stenzel, what's that? 0.8 miles. So I know where all the locations are because I've been playing it. So yeah, that's cool. And you do actually have to set up contracts to deliver these cars. So you'll bring in empty cars. They will sit at the designated track at the industry. They'll load up over time, which is realistic to what would really happen. And then when they're full, you go collect the car, and it will have yellow band here again saying it's ready to be moved. So you'll bring it back here and you'll get paid for delivering it here, and also you'll get paid for delivering it to its current destination, which is Whittier Sawmill. And this bar will then go grey when it's spotted at its correct location. That's all really cool. So with that said, I've been waffling for 7 minutes. So how about we go drive a train? And the other cool thing about this is you have to load up trains with coal and water, which I've already done on this loco. That one has some in by default, but I've topped that one up and I filled that one because when you start the tutorial, it's derailed over here because the backstory to this is you only have a small section of the map available because of floods have washed out bits of track, and over here there's a bridge that's washed out, which is why we have a whole rake of cars over there needing to go to the Bridge site, because that's to rebuild the bridge so we can access more of the map, which is really cool. Well, I think it is anyway. So let's jump on board. And you can just walk into the seat and you'll see character sit down. Set the reverser. Brakes are all off. Let's just actually click on this loco and hit select. So it now says NSR2, which is the loco we're on, because we were controlling the one next to us. So there you go. You can see on the HUD, I'll control that. You can see the reverser moving. Or you can just left click and drag the actual control to set it. Train brakes off, independence off. Give a toot on the horn. And pull away. And then it's the way SD controls move around, and Q&E will lean out. So standard setup for controls. Key binding isn't available at the moment, but the devs have said they're working on it. They want to fix a whole bunch of bugs and glitches that have been highlighted on this release, and then once they've sorted that, they can look at custom keybinds. Yeah. We've pulled out of here. I'm going to go to this view now. And I'm really zoomed out far in that view. So what you can do in third person is come along, or you can jump down off your train and come do it in first person. Throw the switch. You see the indicator spins round to help show that the track has been set. Release our brakes and bring our loco back. Good stuff. I will say the sound, various volumes, need fine tuning. I've noticed that when you're idling, you can barely hear the sound of the loco going along. I've had to turn down various things and try and up the sound so we can hear what's going on accurately, but still not 100% happy with it. Right, let's hit the third person view, which is number 2, and then if you use 0 and 9, you can go to the front or back of the train respectively. So we can just see as we're rolling in. Anything under 5 miles an hour is acceptable for coupling. I like to have it between 1 and 2. Anything below 1, you may not get a positive connection on your coupler. Anything over 2 and you think give it a bit of a ram down the track. Anyway, we'll jump up. We'll go do this in first person. So we're going to come over here. The coupler's already coupled. So we need to connect the glad hands. Now, there's 2 ways of doing this. You can either left click, and that will leave the angle cocks closed. So you will need to manually hold your mouse and open them up. Like so. Or if you hold shift and click, you'll see the angle cock flips around at the same time. So it sets them automatically with the air pipe. So, all good stuff. So we're going to come down here. We can see in the bottom left hand corner, there's 2 purple items of rolling stock here. That indicates the handbrake is set on those. So that should be that one. And we'll get on the other end. Don't have the field of view set accurately. No? Yes. Oh, there we are. For some reason I couldn't see the handbrake first time. That's all done. And as you can see, we're white all the way through, so that says we've got no brakes on our train. So we'll just jump up here. Now see, what I'm going to do is do brake test. Make sure we've got brakes. We have got some gauges here. Now, the boiler pressure one doesn't work, but the brake pressure ones do. So you can see as I release the brake, it's coming up, and you can see gradually that disappears down. And that said, let's get her in reverse. Or get her in forwards, on the reverser rather. Couple of toots to the whistle. Pull the throttle, and we're away. A bit slowly, because we have got 18 cars in total for 978 tons, as you can see there. So there's a bit of weight to be shifted. So the game does model weight really well. You actually feel like you've got a heavy train on there, as opposed to some games where it doesn't really matter. You can walk away with a big train. So there's a good sense of mass, and although the clouds look janky here, that's because of the settings I've got this on. Because my graphics card actually just meets the bare minimum of requirements for this game. So, you know, it is what it is. So you can make the game look a bit better. I'm running medium settings, so you will see sort of over here, you can see some of the foliage popping in and stuff, but overall I think, you know, bear in mind they're using the Unity engine, so I'm sure you're familiar with sort of what graphics look like on Unity versus Unreal, for example. But I don't think the game looks too bad. Certainly if you put the settings on high, the clouds look a lot better. But of course then my FPS drops to a level I'm not really comfortable with. Certainly not when recording. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up for a minute. We're gonna run this train up to Whittier Station, or depot. Now, I'm aware that these first two cars need delivering over here. So if you hover over here, you can see in the background there's a bright yellow track. That highlights where these cars need to go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this up, stop short of Whittier, uncouple the long rake that's going up to Ela Bridge site, pull forward with these three, do a bit of switching, get that boxcar into Stenzel, then we'll leave the two sawmill cars at the side before coming back, grabbing out the train and heading up to Ela. So that said, I'm going to shut up for a minute and let you watch the game. And there we go. One industry successfully switched. Now, you may be wondering, why have I pulled that car? I've got to put it back because it's not fully unloaded. And the idea behind that was, later today in game, that 4.4 tons is going to be fully unloaded, and then I'm going to get a request to take it back to the interchange yard. So that was the thinking behind that. Was let's just swap them around now. Whilst it was quite a simple manoeuvre, just leave our boxcar there, grab the nearly empty one and get the full one behind it. And then what we're going to do now is we are going to disconnect from these two cars. And what I'm going to do is we are going to, if I can get the game close enough. Yep, there we go. So I'm going to close this ankle cock. I'm going to leave the glad hands. I'm just going to pop the coupler. Drop that off here. I'm going to go flip that switch. Now, if you're going into a trailing switch like this, they will spring across if it's facing the wrong way. For humans. Because there is AI, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So, for a player-controlled train, you can run through it, and it will pop across, but I like to just flick it across. And you can see there's the odd graphical glitch there, some Z clipping. It's not too bad though. I haven't noticed masses of it, so overall it's okay. They probably just heard the air. What a quick, and that is the glad hand brake, and then that dumps all the air, and they are going to stay there. Let's just hit the 9 button and rejoin our train. And then we can use the independent brake to slow down because we don't have a load on. And then what we're going to do is throw that switch, run around, and go get the rest of our train. And then we can carry on to Ela, and we'll come grab these later on the return journey, and then switch them for where they need to be. So there we go. Positive grab of our train there. Yeah. Connect up our air pipes. we have to remember, of course, we did set the handbrake on these first two just so it didn't roll away. There we go. Let's jump in cab and take a run down the line. So if I bring up the map, we are here currently and about 2.5 miles up to Ela, where we'll need to run around this consist and shove it forward to the bridge site. Again, I'll do this in real time so you can see this journey of the map. Now in future visits, the videos will be cut because I'll be honest, the mainline run isn't the most fun part of this game. So watching that full length run isn't the greatest, but this first journey will certainly do that. Oh, we're going to have to give the beans to get this rolling. We are on a bit of a hill. There we go. Really pull. Now, if you aren't already aware, as you'll probably see, I have my Norfolk Southern 4002 passenger coach over there, named after the North Carolina DOT coach. So that is 002 is Dogwood. And you're probably wondering, why am I running with Norfolk Southern on the side? We come to our... Okay, you're probably thinking, well, Norfolk Southern, they didn't form until 1982. Which, the Norfolk Southern that we know today, yes, formed in 1982 from the Norfolk and Western coming together and the Southern. But before that, there was another Norfolk Southern Railroad, or Norfolk Southern Railway, as they called themselves. And they ran just a few miles east of where this location is set in real life. And they operated from 1942 until I believe it was 1974, when they were absorbed into the Norfolk and Western. So in the time period that this is set, which is transition era, which is generally accepted to be 40s, 50s into the 60s, Norfolk Southern was a real thing. So anyway, you can see passing by Dogwood, which is completely the wrong coach model, because obviously Amtrak and NCDOT do not operate Wild West style coaches from the turn of the century, or the turn of the previous century, should I say. Come back on our reverser a bit, so we've got a bit more power. Now, get a quick look at our full rake as we head down the line. And there we go. Welcome to Ela. So, see, I've got a couple of farming supply boxcars over on the track there. They were delivered yesterday. And there is also contracts that allow you to deliver here eventually. So there's 2 industries to work here at Ela, as well as this current one, which, as I say, is delivering round to our bridge site. So jump on over here. And I hope you guys don't mind this being a bit longer video for the first one. I want it to give you a basic overview of the game and at least fulfill one contract for the day. Although technically, taking that boxcar to Steagle was the first one we managed. So with our train detached, we're going to pull forward, use this runaround loop here, and then we can come back and make our shove for the end of the video. And if you guys want to see passenger operations at all, I am looking to cover that in another video, so stay tuned for that. And I'll show you how you can use rudimentary AI to operate your trains. At least until we unlock CTC and signalling, which is much later down the track. I don't understand how it all works yet, so I'm not going to try and describe it. Just know that it is possible in this game. Been a bit quick for our run round, but not to worry. Oh. That's a view I want. See all the waggly bits waggling. Slow it down a bit. We come around the curve. Here you'll see the point spring over. There you go. Just demonstration how that works. Now, you will see I have a fusee or a flare set in the middle of the track, and that is to do with the AI and how that operates. So again, like I say, that'll be the subject of follow-up video to this. Don't want to get too distracted and go into all that right now. But it's really cool mechanic, and yeah, certainly help out if you are a solo player, as I will be most of the time, because honestly, I don't know when I'm going to be able to play for the most part. And so trying to organise definite multiplayer sessions will be awkward. Just give a scotch of the old brakes. I don't want to ram into our train too quick. A bit more of pinch. I think we are on a slight downhill. Yanks it, picking up speed again there. There we go. Set some positive train brake, ready for when we connect in. Like so. It looks like we didn't use a handbrake, so that's cool. Release. Make sure the air come out. And begin our shove. So we'll jump over here. In fact, let's go grab our person. And we can do the shove in first person. So let's go for a little sprint along the side of the track. Gotta love that shift button for super high speed running. And just gonna come up and climb up on here. Out there, I think. And there you go. The character doesn't quite line up. See if I can rectify that. Just scotch more. There we go, look at that. So holding on to the grab rail. Feet on the lower one. Almost perfect. But certainly this distance, it lines up well enough to ride with the cargo. So again, brilliant for multiplayer. You'll be able to have your brakeman riding along on the car, jumping down, doing all your switching, guide you in, all that good stuff, while you're the engineer on the head end, listening to the instructions. Let's just give a squeeze of power, get around this corner a bit quicker. Now this delivery I'm doing now is the first of 3 that you have to make to completely build the bridge. So this is phase 1. When this is complete, tomorrow we'll pull the car, start phase 2, which will be another run up here. And then following on from that, we'll do again phase 3. And that will give us our bridge and allow us to go down to Bryson. Which, if I'm honest, I'm not all that fussed about getting down to Bryson too quickly. Look at that sun coming through the trees there. That haze is beautiful. In fact, can we do that? Screenshot. Right, back to our car. Oh, not zoomed in to that level, please. Yeah, there you go. There's our bumper on the end of the track. We'll just roll this in. Just hear the train working in distance. Again, you can use tab to see the highlight. Come down here. Got about 6 more cars to bring in. You don't have to get right up against the bus stop. A couple more cars in and we'll be golden. Cut the power now. That should. Yeah. There we go. By the time this comes to a stop, we'll be in. As you can see, we've still got a couple of car lengths to go. Let's get some train brakes on here. Get a handbrake on. Good measure. Come on over here and we will actually, yeah, we'll leave the air in. That'll be fine. And there we go. Delivered. You can see that bar is no longer highlighted. And we are there. Didn't see a notification come up though. Say we're there yet. Wow. So the sawmill paid us $1,265 for a carload of logs. That's brilliant. Our train is rolling around there. With that, guys, I think that's going to be it. The end for this video. You can see that is slowly ticking down. That started off with 25 tons on there. And you can actually see on this car, one of the 4 boxes of rebar has already been unloaded. So yeah, that will be the end of this one. I apologise, but sorry not sorry for it being an hour-long video. I think it needed it just for this first look. Let me know your thoughts on the game. Do you own it? Do you want to own it? If you do, go check out Kerbo's tutorial videos. Just let them know down in the comments. Hey, TrainswithNick sent me. And yeah, helps with engagement. So that will help his algorithm just as much as it will mine on videos. So it's all good. But anyway, with that said, thank you ever so much for sticking with it if you made it this far. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.